Why, yes, I do feel very sexy librarian with these new glasses. Hello everyone, today is Saturday, and today's video is going to be about something that is near and dear to my heart. Yes, it is video games. More specifically, I'm going to talk about how I feel that video games are a great way for queer people of color to escape a lot of the burden that society puts us under in our situation. Let's get started. So I've been playing video games since I was a wee laddie. I used to play the Sega Genesis all day, every day. Played my Game Boy Advanced all the time, played my Game Boy Color, and I loved video games. Started when I was 4. So I've been playing video games for 19 years, which is more than 3/5 of my life, so a while. And of course, you know, I love video games because of the medium that they are, how you can have all these great elements of gameplay and plot and graphics and everything, and controls and great fighting systems and all this stuff, and community, right? But what I wanted to talk about today is more about how in a lot of games you can kind of make a character. For example, in Mass Effect, or in like various MMOs like World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, Ragnarok. And I think this is a huge deal because your character, depending on how extensive the character creation system is, can be anything you want. You can make the character look like yourself, you can, you know, make them look like someone else entirely, change their skin tone, you can change their height, their weight, their musculature, their voice, their stats, all this stuff. And it's kind of great because once you actually go into this game world, no one really notices, unless it's sci-fi, in which they'll notice that you're not an alien, which is a big deal in sci-fi universes. But I love it because in the real world, when it comes to our skin tone, our gender, our sexuality, people notice and they treat us differently. But in video games, that mostly doesn't happen. Your romance options might change a bit. You might, depending on the game, get a different starting story or some different reactions, but overall, this fantasy allows us to be free of the prejudice that we experience every day, and that is why I love video games. And I think I also love how video games allow me to be anyone that I want to be. So let's say, for example, I don't feel completely comfortable wearing clothes that are typically considered feminine out in public because I don't want to be chastised, you know, I'm not comfortable with it myself yet, and I'm not ready to do that. But in a video game, I can be a character who identifies as female or identifies as male but still wears like dresses or like a battle skirt, and I don't have to be judged by anyone. And even in like MMOs too, because of the anonymity of text chatting, there could be anyone behind any player character. They could look or identify as anything and no one would know unless you told them. And there's just that freedom to move about through these spaces without being stopped. We talked about this in my video game studies class, which I did have in college. It was a very cool class. How a lot of video games kind of allow us to rise above the need for the physical body. Physical reality is what separates us from fully being immersed into the video game reality, even though people really do get deeply immersed. I do as well. You know, I can play for hours on end and just really get into it, right? And I think it's nice too because in the real world, there are certain things that we have difficulty achieving because of our status as queer people of color. But in games like Mass Effect, I can be a bisexual Asian American who saves the universe and is a hero. But you don't see that in Earth here. queer people of color who are highlighted as heroes in the mainstream media all around, who reach worldwide success, galactic success. And that's just kind of great to be able to feel that, just kind of leave your reality, not to a point where it's unhealthy. Video games really are an exit to put down your armor and just pretend and not think about this stuff that plagues the back of our mind every day that makes us feel crappy. And that's why I love video games. I'm talking about video games today because that's literally all I did. I went to a friend of a friend's house and just played Dark Souls 3 for hours. It was really fun. But I just kind of want to share how I connect video games with being a queer person of color and why I personally feel so enamored with video games. It's almost like a safe space, I guess, a safe space. A cyber digital safe space, except when there are trolls and jerks who play certain games. You know who I'm talking about. That's gonna be it for today's video. It's pretty late. Sorry, I just got back from that thing after driving back from LA, so it's 2 a.m. So I'm probably gonna go to bed after I finish editing this. I'd love to hear comments about how you feel about video games and how that relates to being a queer person of color. Okay, well, I'll see you all next week. That's it. Bye. I like my new glasses. Do you? Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.